Have you ever wondered about the true origins of the Albanian language? Is it a newcomer to the Balkans, or does it have roots that stretch back into antiquity? Today we're diving deep into some fascinating historical texts that shed an incredible light on this very question. We're going to uncover evidence that suggests Albanian isn't just old, it's a direct descendant of the language spoken by the ancient Epirotes. Let's start our journey in the 18th century. In 1777, a scholar named Sablier wrote a work called Essays on Languages in General. What he wrote is absolutely groundbreaking. He states, with no room for doubt, that the Epirote language has been preserved in Epirus or in Shqipëri, that's Albania. Think about that for a moment. He's directly linking the ancient language of Epirus with the modern Albanian spoken in his time. But Sablier didn't stop there. He went on to make an even bolder claim. He insisted that this language, Albanian, has no connection with those of its neighbors. He specifically calls out Latin, Turkish, and modern Greek. This is a powerful statement. He's arguing that Albanian is not a dialect or an offshoot of these other languages, but something entirely distinct and indigenous to the region. He saw it as a unique linguistic island in the Balkans. To prove his point, Sablier included a comparative table of words. Under a column he titled Epirote, he listed words that are unmistakably Albanian. Words like bër for son, vëlla for brother, motër for sister, and hanë for moon. These are core vocabulary words, the building blocks of a language, and they were the same then as they are today in Albanian. By presenting this lexical evidence, Sablier was demonstrating a clear, unbroken line from the ancient Epirote language to the Albanian of the 18th century. What's really important to understand is that Sablier wasn't alone in this thinking. He was part of a long and respected tradition of scholars, stretching from the 16th all the way to the 18th centuries. These weren't fringe thinkers. They were the leading intellectuals of their day. They all looked at the evidence and came to the same conclusion. The Albanian language is an autochthonous Balkan idiom. That's a fancy way of saying it originated right there in the Balkans and survived, intact, through millennia of turmoil, invasions, and cultural shifts, right into the early modern period. Now let's fast forward a few years to 1805. We find another incredible piece of the puzzle. It's a book, a Christian prayer book to be exact, published for a community in Calabria, in southern Italy. On the surface, you might think, what does a prayer book from Italy have to do with Albanian history? Well, everything. The communities it was written for were often referred to as Greeks of Calabria. But when you actually look at the language inside the book, a fascinating truth is revealed. The text isn't in Greek. It's written in a language that any Albanian speaker, even today, can understand. It's Arbresh, an old dialect of Albanian spoken by communities that migrated from Albania to Italy centuries ago. This book is a time capsule. It proves that these so-called Greeks of Calabria were, in fact, Albanians, preserving their language and their heritage far from their homeland. Let's examine the text of a prayer from this very book. I'll read a small portion, and if you speak Albanian, you'll immediately recognize it. The words, the grammar, the spirit of the language, it's all there. This isn't just a historical curiosity. It's living proof. It shows the incredible resilience of the Albanian language and identity. These communities, separated by sea and centuries, held on to their mother tongue. The book itself is a testament to their identity, a clear declaration that they were not Greek but Albanian. So what does all this mean when we put it together? We have scholarly consensus from the 16th to 18th centuries, like the work of Sablier, identifying Albanian as the heir to the ancient Epirote language. Then we have tangible evidence, like the 1805 prayer book from Calabria, showing Albanian communities maintaining their distinct linguistic identity, even when mislabeled by outsiders. The picture that emerges is one of incredible continuity. It challenges the narratives that try to paint Albanians as latecomers to the Balkans. Instead, the historical and linguistic evidence points to a people and a language with deep, ancient roots in the region. The Albanian language wasn't borrowed or imported. It grew out of the very soil of the Balkans. A direct linguistic descendant of the ancient peoples of Epirus, this is a story of survival. It's the story of a language that weathered the rise and fall of empires, the Romans, the Byzantines, the Ottomans. While other languages of antiquity vanished, Albanian endured. It was preserved in the rugged mountains of Albania and Epirus, and in the hearts of communities that migrated to places like Italy. The work of scholars like Sablier and the existence of artifacts like the Calabrian prayer book are not just footnotes in history. They are crucial pieces of evidence that help us reconstruct a more accurate picture of the Balkan past. They affirm the identity of the Albanian people and celebrate the remarkable journey of their unique and ancient language. It's a heritage that has been passed down through countless generations, a living link to the ancient world, still spoken and cherished today. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into history and language. It's a story that deserves to be told and understood. If you found this fascinating, please hit that like button and subscribe for more explorations into the hidden corners of our past. See you in the next video.